Hi guys, today we'll show you how to replace the front brake pads and rotors in 2011 through 2016 Scion TC. Make sure that your parking brake is engaged and you need to block one of the rear wheels with wheel chocks on both sides. We will use the hydraulic jack to lift the front of the vehicle. The front jacking point is located right here underneath the engine. The vehicle. While the wheels are still touching the ground and the vehicle is partially lifted, we'll have to loosen our lug nuts. For this we'll use the lug nut key, which should come with the vehicle, and also we need the 21mm socket. I'm using the extension. Now we'll loosen the rest of the lug nuts. And I will loosen lug nuts on the other side as well. Now we'll keep raising the front of the vehicle until wheels are completely off the ground. The side jacking points are located right here between the two marks, and this is where we will put our jack stands. Make sure that the height of the jack stands is the same on both sides. Now you can remove the rest of the lug nuts. Now you guys can remove the wheel and place it underneath the vehicle right here. In case if the vehicle falls, it will block the vehicle. I will do the same on the right side. I will remove all the lug nuts. Now we'll need to remove two bolts that hold the caliper in place. There is one on the bottom and one on the top. For this we'll need to use 14mm socket, and we'll use a 17mm wrench. Wrench will be placed right here. It will hold the nut, and we'll use our ratchet, flexible head ratchet. And you guys will have to repeat the process on the bottom nut. Unscrew it counterclockwise. When you guys remove these bolts, the idea is to hold the wrench and the ratchet at the same time. This will allow you to undo these bolts. Now our caliper is loose. And now we can remove our brake pads. There's one in the back and one in the front. After you guys have removed the brake pads, you have to check the condition of the slider pins. As you can see, the bottom one is moving freely, but this one is actually seized, the top one. This means we'll have to take actually both of them out, and we will replace the lubricant. But for this one, it has to be serviced immediately, basically. First we will remove the bottom one. You have to hold the rubber boot with one hand and pull out this pin. You have to clean old silicone. And we'll use this brake lubricant, synthetic. I'll leave you guys a link for this one in the description. Apply a small amount and spread it out. And insert it back in. Make sure that the boot goes on top, and also guys, check the condition of the boot. Make sure there are no cracks, that it's not damaged. Now we'll do the top one, the one that has some problems. Similar idea. Pull it out. Clean it. Again, apply the silicone and make sure that the top one goes on top of the caliper and the bottom goes in the bottom. Insert it. And take a look guys at the difference. Now it moves freely. This means that our brake pads will work properly. If you have any silicone that came out after the installation, just clean it with a rag, wipe it off. And also try not to get any silicone on the working surface of the rotor or our brake pads. If you guys want to replace the rotor as well, you will need to remove this mounting bracket. There are two bolts in the back. You will need to use 17mm socket. Unscrew counterclockwise. It may take some effort to pull them off. If you can't do it easily, just try to use a longer ratchet or a breaker bar. And this is how the bracket looks like. There are a few ways how you can remove the rotor. There are a couple of holes for the specific screws which can be inserted right here, and this will push the rotor away from the wheel assembly, and this will allow us to remove it. It could be loose guys, you can just simply try with your hands, see if it comes off. It actually will in this case, as you can see, but it's not always the case. And then you will either need to use the screws or you can use a hammer. When you guys use the hammer, you have to hit in the middle, in the center parts of the disc, not on the sides. And again, this will allow you to remove it. Now we'll use the metallic brush to clean pad support plates from corrosion and deposits. Again, this will allow our brake pads to freely move. And guys, make sure not to damage the rubber boot when you do it. The support plates on our bracket are in almost perfect condition, and in some instances you may want to replace them. They usually come in the set with the new brake pads, but as I said, in this case there is no need to do it. You will only need to do it if they are damaged or really corroded badly. So this will be the way to replace your discs, and after you have replaced them guys, you have to put the bracket back on. We'll use one nut to secure our rotor in place, temporary, and install the mounting bracket. Now first we will hand tighten the two bolts and then we'll use the torque wrench. We'll use the torque wrench, and the torque in this case is 79 foot-pounds. Keep tightening until you hear a click. We have the Bosch new brake pads here today, which we planned to install instead of the old ones. I'll show you guys the difference. We still have left about 30 to 40% on the old brake pads. The old brake pads should still last for about 10 to 20,000 kilometers. This is actually still okay, so you can still, guys, use the old brake pads for some time. Also the wear is even on both sides, which is a good sign. This also means that the piston inside the caliper is working properly. So for today we decided to keep the old ones, and in the future we'll actually replace both the rotors and the brake pads at once, and then we'll use our new brake pads. And also, guys, when you replace the brake pads, you have to move this metallic piece from the old brake pad onto the new one. You can simply use a screwdriver to take it off the old one. Right now we'll take our caliper off. Again, guys, it's a really good idea to use a rubber strap. This way it won't fall and won't damage any cables. And now, guys, another important part is when you install the new brake pads, you will need to use the spreader tool together with the old brake pad, like this, and this will push the piston inside and allow you guys to install the new brake pad, since they are thicker than the old ones. So this procedure needs to be done when you install the new brake pads. You also need to check the condition of the rubber boot right here in the caliper. It has to be intact, there shouldn't be any leaks or damage, and also you guys need to replace or flush the brake fluid on time to make sure that it works properly and does not leak. We have a separate video about that, which I'll leave you the link in the description for. Our first brake pad goes inside, and the front brake pad goes back in place. Make sure that this part is on top, metallic bracket, and it goes in. Now remove the caliper. And put it on top this way. Some people also put lubricant on top of this metallic plate, which in our opinion is not necessary, because this actually is called anti-squeal shim. It is meant to reduce the sound, and on the original one you have one like this as well, as you guys can see. And from the factory there is no lubricant on this plate. Now you can install the two bolts that hold the caliper, one on the bottom, one on the top. Now we will hand tighten them first. Now we'll use both. We'll use the 17mm wrench, and we'll use the ratchet with a 14mm socket. Again, guys, both at the same time. One holds. And repeats on top as well. The reason why you need the thin body wrench is because at this point we're using the regular one. You won't be able to tighten the bolt any further because it will hit our wrench. You guys can use Cobra pliers to secure the nut and tighten the bolt. When you do it, make sure not to accidentally grab the rubber boot. And repeat the procedure on the bottom as well. And now, guys, the final stage, we'll use the torque wrench together with Cobra pliers to tighten our bolts. The torque in this case is 25 foot-pounds. For the top bolt, we'll use the longer socket. Again, guys, 25 foot-pounds. Wait for the click and it's done. And now, guys, you have to do the same procedure. When you unscrew them, actually you may not need to use the 17mm wrench again. It may come out like this, but when you tighten these, you will have to use it for sure. Repeat it on the bottom, and basically, guys, you have to repeat the whole process again on the right side. Remove the caliper. Again, first I'll hang it like this, and we'll use the strap to secure it in place. Brake pads come out. Again, check the condition of brake pads. Make sure that they are being worn out evenly. Again, we'll check the condition of the boots. They look okay. And now we'll check the movement. I'll start from the bottom. It does move, but it's not as easy as it needs to be. On the top, same thing, guys, it's quite tight. We have to replace the lubricant. Remove the rubber and pull out the pin. Remove old lubricant. Again, we'll apply a small amount and spread it out. Insert it. And take a look, guys, how freely now it moves. And as you can see, this one is slightly different. It has this black thing on the bottom. This is how it's supposed to work. Again guys, we'll quickly clean these support plates to reinstall our brake pads. We won't be installing the new one like we said. We're just showing you guys all this basically to let you know that you have to periodically inspect slider pins, because as you could see with time they become quite stiff. That's why it's important every 50 or so thousand kilometers to check, inspect your brakes and make sure that it's all working properly. I will reinstall the brake pads. When you guys do it, put them sideways slightly, then they come in very easy. And same on this side. First sideways, make sure it goes in all the way, and that's it. Now we will quickly inspect the caliper. Remove the strap, and the reason why we do this, guys, because of this hose. If it falls, drops, it will become damaged. Again, check the condition of the piston, the rubber boot around the piston. We don't want to see any wet spots, any leakage, and no damage either. This one is also in good condition, same as on the other side. This means we don't have to do anything else at the moment. Now we will put it back. Also guys, again, when you reinstall your brake pads, you have to push it in using the spreader tool. Right now we don't need to do this. Put it back. And reinstall the bolts. Again, we'll use the wrench and the ratchet to tighten the bolts. Use a torque wrench. And that's it. And the final stage, guys, reinstall the wheels. Now I will partially tighten the lug nuts while the wheel is still in the air. Do it in crisscross manner. Repeat it on both wheels. Now we will raise the front of the vehicle again, and we can remove the jack stands now. Before you lower the vehicle, make sure that there is nothing left underneath the vehicle. And the final tightening, tighten all lug nuts to 76 foot-pounds. Repeat on both wheels. And it's a good idea, guys, to recheck the torque after 80 kilometers. Remove the wheel chocks. And one more important step that you have to do before you start driving, you have to press the brake pedal a few times until it stops being soft. So press it a few times until it's not soft anymore. Now you guys can start driving. Our front brake pads and rotors replacement video is complete. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.